allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have 4 board members present, Mrs. Keene, myself, Mr. Hall, and Mr. Nelson. Do we have a motion to, or we have some items to remove from the agenda?
Yes, we do. We have G3, and they are indicated on the agenda with lines through them. J1, which is in personnel, J2C, J2D, and J2E all are also in personnel. I ask that you make that change.
We have a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Mrs. Keene makes the motion, Mr. Hall will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have the minutes from October 13th. Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Nelson makes the motion. Mr. Hall will second. Is there any discussion? Not all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We also have minutes from our special meeting on October 16th. We have a motion for approval. Mrs. Keene makes the motion. Mr. Hall will second. Any discussion? Not all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And next, we have the special meeting from October 20th minutes. Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Hall makes the motion. Mr. Nelson will second. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thought you were going for straight seconds on that.
You can see Teresa's been busy.
I'm doing my best. How about seconds?
We have no one here for delegations, so we will move forward with the superintendent's report and academic updates.
So the first thing that I want to point out to you is you have some papers in front of you, and it says 2025 exiting CSI schools. Back in 2022, the middle school had been recognized as a school that needed some support and some targeted support, and was on a list and gained a lot of information and a lot of support from the State Department. And as you will see, as of 2025, we are on the list to be exiting that program. So that is a good thing. I also gave you some other just documents. We are not on these. We would like to stay off of these. But these are areas that you could end up on. You could be an ATSI school, you could be a CSI school, and those are schools that also have needs or need support in certain areas. These are all academic indicators. So I just wanted to share that with you, but the good news is the middle school has moved off of that list. The next thing I'm going to share with you, you have in front of you, it's pink and yellow, because I thought maybe that might be easier to see it. That is mauve tie at our last meeting. Dr. Hott provided us with the annual list of the enrollees, or the number of students that we have in each program at mauve tie. And the ones in yellow are the AM students, and they are the first year programs. Then the ones in pink are the second year programs. We have 34 students going in the morning and 39 students going in the afternoon. And the ones that are highlighted in pink are the programs that we have students in. We have a high number of students in the first year carpentry program. We have 8 there. We have 8 in therapeutic services in the AM. And then we have in the afternoon, second year diesel, we have 7. And building maintenance and operations, we have 7. So we have 5 in advanced medical and 5 in multimedia publications. So we have pockets of areas where students are getting their hands-on technical experience at multi. One of the things I also want to point out is at the bottom of the chart, we are very fortunate that Dr. Hott allows a teacher to come to Ritchie County Middle School, and he runs a vocational class for us at the middle school. And his name is Danny Bunch, and he runs a drafting program, and he does an excellent job. So, and what that helps us with too, at the end of the year, some of the reports that they look at are how many kids are getting vocational classes and that really helps us out. And so, as you see at the bottom, we're the only program or the only county that they've been willing to do that for so far. So I just thought I would share those numbers with you. Those are always interesting to me. The next thing I'll point out you have in front of you is you have our monthly, I told you we would be providing these for you every month. This is through October 24th, and we'll call this our second month. And chronic absenteeism is what the state looks at. And so we're gonna run a chart for our months in school so you can see how we're doing in chronic absenteeism. You don't have that one.
We'll share.
Kelly.
Okay.
When we had Ryan's too. I apologize. If you look at this, the chronic absenteeism, I need you to know at this time of the year or any time of the year when we're at these numbers, they look wonderful. Especially the high school, middle school numbers. I don't know, I'm gonna guarantee you we've never been in the 14s even this early in the year at the high school. We normally run in the 20s. And you want the lower number, it's like golf, you need the lower number. So very pleased with that. If you look at the bottom of the sheet, and I explained this to you the last time, we designed if it's red, you do not meet standards. If it's partially meet standards, the state in chronic absenteeism wants you below 15%. So, you know, you'd like to be below 15%, at this point we are. And then blue is meet standards, and then you have exceed standards. We also, I'm sharing with you on the right is our attendance rate. And again, you'll see that if they're blue and yellow, we're partially meets or meet standards, and regular attendance, we are currently all at meet standards. So I just wanted to share with you, again, the ongoing challenge of attendance, but also the fact that we are very thrilled and appreciate parents of students for making sure they're in school. We know that sickness will come at some point. We'll do things that we can do to prevent or keep germs down as much as we can, but it is inevitable at some point. But right now, we are doing well as far as attendance goes. And the other couple of things I want to mention to you under other is for the communities and schools, I had an opportunity this weekend on Friday night to go to their trunk or treat. They had over 300 elementary, middle school age kids there. It was a nice evening. And a lot of community support, a lot of community groups had set up for the event, and we appreciate that and the fact that we can do positive things for our kids in our community. Speaking of that, Veterans Day events will be coming up soon in November, as well as we will be off school November 11th for Veterans Day. The auditors, school auditors were in the auditors were here and were physically in the schools this week. We felt like our auditing report will be good. We had addressed some issues earlier in one of our schools that we had found and have already fixed those, but the auditors pulled the same type reports that we did from the same time period where we already found the mistake and fixed it. So they'll still note a couple of those things, but they will probably also note that they were fixed prior to them getting here because we had already realized we had an issue and fixed it and had plans in place in order to do so. One last thing I do want to mention, this is, I feel like a broken record when I say this at all times. We are doing as best we can with buses and transportation of students. We have been very fortunate so far this year to have had to have canceled minimal buses. We've learned how to put 2 or 3 trips or routes together to try to get kids home when we can. But we have had some additional health issues and with some of our drivers, and we are starting to worry that we're going to see some times with not enough at this point. So I just wanted to give you that heads up that the good news is we have 3 or 4, I can't remember, at least 3 currently in the training process. So, but we also know we may have some retirements coming up soon. So we are just barely staying ahead of it. We'll have a route empty and get someone trained and they'll get a job. And so that's good for them, but it then takes them right off the sub list. So we are doing the best we can with recruiting as well as getting them trained as fast as we can and as safely as we can. There are certain things you just still have to go through to get them trained. But I just wanted to let you know that you may hear some additional calls saying we can't run a route. That's not the good news. The good news is, that's a good transition. The good news is Our cross-country team finished second in the region, and they have qualified to go run at the state cross-country meet this weekend. And we wish them well. It is not just the girls team or just the boys team, it is the girls and the boys team. So that was an exciting day for Coach Vaughn and her staff and her athletes. And we look forward to seeing them on Saturday. Also, you may have heard on my message that Bentley Williams set a school record. She ran in 1901, which was a record that was set back in 2004. And that's a school record, and so that's quite an accomplishment for that young lady as well. So we wish them well this weekend, and I just wanted to remind you of that.
Do you remember who had it before?
Yes, I do. I want to thank you again. Manning. What's Jade Manning's daughter's name? Melody Manning. And prior to that was Missy Spangler. I called Terry Williams and asked him all the details.
Of course he knows.
That's the reason I know. I wouldn't have known that had I not called to ask.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Any questions? If not, we will move on to the Director of Reports. And we will start with Kelly Wagner, the Director of Personnel and Technology Support and Enhancement.
Well, we go backwards, we're gonna talk about professional development first. So I gotta get my hand in these, that's what you're looking at. So there should be two sheets front and back. So one of my jobs has to do with professional development.
Yes, you have to be in the microphone.
One of my jobs has to do with professional development, and this sheet comes from the State Department of all the trainings that employees have to have, some of them yearly, some on employment, some every 3 years after. So, and then there are certain ones that are due every 3 years. So this year, preventing child sexual abuse, this was our time to do that. So at the beginning of the year, all staff did 6 hours of training for that. And then this is also the year of another 3-year cycle for special needs. And so we plan on that and try to use our PL days appropriately. If you'll notice from the chart, everything in blue is what the teachers did at the beginning of the year. Everything in yellow are ones that they did last year. So I have to keep track of if we have new people that are hired, substitutes, we make sure they all go through that training and keep track. If we get new teachers from maybe another county, then I gotta get paperwork from them to show that they did that training so that we're in compliance. If you see one that is white, like the first one, educator evaluation, we've documented that all principals do that with their staff. You'll notice if you go to the end of the last page, the fentanyl prevention, opioids, that one we will take place at our next PL day. And at the end of that, it's just kind of the document for you to show that we keep looking at our PL days, what do we need to do, planning ahead, and making sure professional development that's needed is done during those times. Any questions about professional development?
Are you about full of time to do all this?
Yes. It's a lot. It's really, but then we also plan too to make sure if we have extra time, we wanna make sure we have, all of that's planned because we have so much to do.
They keep adding.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been able,
Yes.
with this too, you've been able to offer some other things for staff as well, other than just this, correct?
Yes, you know, besides this, you know, at the beginning of the year, we did a training, I think I talked about the last time I was here, on choices, classroom management. Champs, what did I say? Champs. The last time we did some training on AI for teachers, we did a review of rooms, and our tech department has kept track of how many parents we have on that, and the more we can get our teachers to use rooms and communicate with them through rooms, then the better we will be. We've also need to do some more training on WEVIS and teachers and, you know, parents looking at grades and making sure all of that is done as well. Okay, let's move on to technology. We have been busy. October is when we do the October collections, and the State Department is, you know, sends out emails to make sure that we do that October collection where our student count, our advanced enrollment numbers, cohorts, dropout rates, all of that. And thank you to principals who have looked over the data, secretaries. their job has become a lot harder, I think, a lot of detail, especially with rooms and with Weavis Gradebook. They have to make sure parents and all of their data is in there correctly, or they won't be able to access what they need to. And so we were proud that one of the reports that the state pulled and they sent back to us, they had like 1,400 errors in parents and primary guardians. Ritchie County had 0. And that's very, to our parents, to our secretaries, because of that we rolled out rooms. If they weren't put down as a primary guardian, they wouldn't be able to see that, and they've done a great job of letting us know so we can fix those issues. And secretaries as well, when they're enrolling students, they gotta make sure that's correct. The next big thing on our list for technology at the end of this year is our 3-year rotation and refreshing of iPads. So we have approximately like 1,600 iPads that our tech department is working with companies now on buyback, how to get the most out of those so that we can purchase our new ones. We are going from operating system 18 to 26. With that comes a lot of new features for our staff and for our students. We were going to have a new mobile device manager that also gives teachers tools. And we hope to order those around April. Those come in May. And so we will be working with the Apple team on the purchase and the timeline of those, and then also how we're going to roll out professional developments for both staff and students. Any questions?
One of the things Mrs. Wagner and her staff have done well is planning for this and making sure that the money that we got when we purchased the last time went somewhere to make sure it was set aside. In the budget, you could see that money set aside, but also they get what's called Tools for Schools money, and they ask for last year's money to be held until this year, so that also will help support this project. So they've done a lot of things to make sure that we are ready to make this big rollover, because it is a big purchase. And so I think that they're doing everything they can to help support that moving forward.
All right, up next is Lindy Johnson, the Director of Operations and Management Services. Do you have a new last name?
I am Wendy Johnson Hall. She's Hall.
Thank you.
It's a good last
Is
name.
it his kind or the other kind?
It's his kind.
It's his kind.
I decided since people are learning me as this position as Wendy Johnson, I better not throw them a loop. Just going straight to Wendy Hall. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Again, I am Wendy Johnson Hall, Director of Operations and Management. So I want to talk to you first of all about our Safe School Entrances update. And I gave you pictures. One side is Creed Collins Elementary. And if you look at those pictures, you just simply have, you can see the number 1s on the first 2 pictures. Those are the exterior and interior views from those doors. The number 2s are the same pictures. And then the last picture there on the bottom is just the interior door from like the office looking down the hallway. At Creed, things are going well. There's down to some punch list items and waiting for the overhead vents to be installed. And then if you flip it over and look at Harrisville, theirs is a little more entailed with the making of the man trap, which that's our first picture. The second picture at the top is the pass-through little window, which it looked kind of neat when I went in there today and took a picture, because the last time I was there, it was just wood. And so I was quite happy to see that it was actually window, and was excited. And they were excited to have a window to look out. And then interior and exterior doors. I didn't take a picture of the other one because the painter was actually painting as I was there, and I didn't want to put him in the picture. So they're waiting actually for a piece of glass to be installed, and it should be there this week. And also as well for the overhead vents to be installed. Painters are finishing up at Harrisville, and the floor man is refinishing some work there as well. Our contract states that the date of completion will be October 31st of this year, so that is quickly approaching, and hopefully they'll get everything knocked out this week and be good to go. Any questions? Alright, so we have had multiple inspections, typical beginning of the year inspections. The Board of Risk and Insurance Management, which we commonly call BRIM, those went very well. It's walked through all of the schools. There were no major issues, very minor ones that have either already been fixed or we have a plan to fix. Same with the health department. The health inspector came through, walked through all of the kitchens, all of the buildings. No major issues. Anything that was needed done has already been taken care of, and we're good to go in those areas. The elevators have been inspected, fire alarms, bleachers, everything has been inspected. No issues anywhere with any of that. So all good there. I feel like I need my checklist for inspections. So then we have our transportation plan, and this is based on the State Department annual assessment. We're going to be developing a plan of improvement for our areas identified, and we're actually working with the State Department to better understand that rubric. I'm learning that rubric as well, and in order to begin the plan, I'm currently evaluating and understanding the operations here. I'm learning that part of my job here and seeing how we can be better at what we do. I did visit a neighboring county to see how things are done there and look at their operations and just gather some operational ideas. Any questions on that? And then for your other transportation, I'm going to a director's meeting on November 19th. I'm sure I'll get lots of good information there. And then for child nutrition, I'm enrolled in a Serve Safe class to complete the requirement to become the child nutrition director. And it's an 8-hour course that I have to take, so I'm excited to take it. Any questions? Yes.
Two things. One, the school lunches lately have been fantastic.
Thank you.
To a few kids.
We're jealous, aren't we?
I have been walking through certain schools
Something's happened in
and
the last few weeks. It's really,
They love their game, haven't they?
yeah.
Mhm.
So good on that. And then a suggestion or an idea maybe on the new entrances that
Mhm.
should be able to be used, I'm guessing in November.
Mhm.
Maybe at least a picture or two, or maybe a walkthrough video,
Okay,
whatever you think.
absolutely.
And post it on the socials or however you want to handle that to kind of,
Yeah,
everyone's always used to a certain way, and if it's different,
I like that.
they get all, crazy.
I like that. I like that.
I think they'll be glad to be able to go back in the front doors.
I was asked today, can we use the doors yet? And I said, are the chain link fence gates still up? And they said, yes. And I said, not until they go away. Thank you.
All right, next we have the consent agenda.
I ask that you approve, retro-approve an in-school suspension, teacher job description. We've often posted that as alternative ed. It requires addition, let me restate this. You have to post the job for how you're using the position. There's a difference between an alternative ed teacher and an ISS teacher. We are running the middle school like it's ISS, but had posted it alternative ed. So we had to fix the job description and repost it for what we are using. So that is why that is on there. Approve retroactive, an out-of-state trip to Washington Community College in Marietta. It was October 20th. A volunteer commitment agreement, we're always glad to see those. And Ritchie County High School's winter sports schedules are there. You now have the middle school and the high school. You're missing middle school wrestling and high school freshmen, but those will be coming very soon. I ask that you approve those consent items as listed.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Mrs. King makes the motion, Mr. Hall second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Good
Next,
question. So on all those winter sports, when would be a good time for people to sync their calendars? Because you don't want to do it too early if they're not all in there. But you want to do it once, I guess, the wrestling and the freshman schedules are there. When would all those
We are
be?
meeting with Jamie Thursday. I have given her all of the schedules so far that we have. What holds us up is wrestling in Parkersburg because we're in that league, and they kind of dictate when we get that schedule, and it's always later. We can put it out on Facebook, it's ready, but I got the feeling for Burke it may be another week or two. But I think freshman is almost done.
I think everyone understands that, like, if you sync your calendar with the
Yes.
school website, it's awesome, but if you do it too early,
You
and they
miss it.
add a bunch of events, then you won't have those in your calendar, so however however you wanna handle it.
That's a good question. We will manage that.
So do we know we have enough for a freshman team?
They say we do. We hope we do. That's the
Just
plan.
curious. Cool, huh? Yay. I was just curious.
All right, next is employments.
I ask that you approve as stated on the record, 2 substitute teachers, Lisa Shepler and Lori Kuffner, as a bus operator who is on a new one to Route 5113. Greta Kimbler as a full-time, she's actually transferring position, she's going to Harrisville, and Anthony Rader as the freshman basketball coach. Ask that you approve those as stated on the record.
Right, the superintendent is recommending that we approve the employments J2, A, B, F, G, and H. Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Nelson makes the motion. Mr. Hall, a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Wow, good employment section today. Next,
Finally.
we have payment of bills in the amount of $314,530.59. We have a motion to approve payment of the bills. Mrs. King makes the motion. Mr. Howell, second. Is there any discussion? Not all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Financial request, Mrs. High.
I ask that you approve the supplements and transfers as well as a change order. I do in front of you, I've given you a summary sheet. It says budget transfers and supplements. There were many on there, so Mrs. Wells kind of did a summary for us, so I kind of made it to where it's a little cleaner, I think, for you to understand it. The first one is just, entry number 8 is just a carryover. Fund 51 is reestablished, that encumbers funds from the last year and is entered into the budget. So that one's kind of simple and it's a sum amount. Then under budget supplements themselves, if you, 120, all the ones that are yellow, 120, 122, 129, 130, 133, and 134, those are GPS grant awards, are completed in July and August, and after their approval of the FY26 budget in May, then they're added into this. So that's just like a procedural entry. And then we have also some grants that are listed here. There's a stipend for teachers for a summer conference, EL, our English Learner Grant, the grant for mapping of our schools, our elementary schools, it's on here, as well as a backpack program. So that's like the summary of the supplement section. And then when you look at the budget transfers, what happens is the money may be in your levy, but then you're moving it to specific things, whether it be, and I underlined some of the specific things that are there, like classroom supplies, it could be salaries, furniture, it could be software, professional development, vocational trips. So all of that was, and you can see there what those transfers were as well. Yes.
What's GPS thing?
It's a system that we uses that houses all of our data. It's like a data
Global
system.
position,
No,
satellite.
no. That would be easier to manage than the GPS we use. It is a system, that's where we put everything in it, like all of our budgets go in there, that's where we put our goals are in there, our strategic plans are in there, that's where all of our school data goes. So, good question. So I ask that you approve the supplements and the transfers as well as the change order number 1.
It's called a grants and planning system.
Yes. And it has a bunch of stuff on our grants in it.
I was looking it up. Grants
I
and
should have
planning
done that, so.
system. All right, and also you described the change order?
Yes.
All right, so we have supplements, transfers, and a change order for Safe Schools entrance. Do we have a motion to approve the financial request? Mrs. King makes the motion, Mr. Nelson will second. Is there any further discussion? Not all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Do we have any requests for agenda items for our next board meeting? Do we have any board member committee reports? Our next regular meeting will be held November 10th at 6 o'clock here at the Ritchie County Board of Education office. The time is 6:29. We may be setting a new record for us motion to adjourn? Mr. Hall makes the motion, Mr. Nelson will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Someone in the audience also said aye.
Can River come to all these and get out early?